never wanted to work the night shift at the Pinewood Hotel. The place gave me the creeps even during the day, with its faded Victorian grandeur and musty corridors. But bills needed paying, so when they offered me the position of night manager, I reluctantly accepted. My first few nights were uneventful. The hotel was mostly empty, save for a handful of business travelers and the occasional tourist. I spent my time at the front desk, watching the clock tick away the hours until dawn. It was during my second week that I first noticed something odd about room 733. I was doing my nightly rounds when I heard a sound coming from inside. A soft, rhythmic tapping. Thinking a guest might need assistance, I knocked on the door. "Hello? This is the night manager. Is everything all right?" No response, just that persistent tapping. I checked the guest log. Room 733 was supposed to be empty. My hand shook as I inserted the master key. The door swung open to reveal nothing. The room was dark and still, no sign of any disturbance. I chalked it up to an overactive imagination and old pipes. But the incidents kept happening. Every night, without fail, I'd hear noises from 733. Sometimes tapping, sometimes whispers. Once, even what sounded like muffled screams. Each time I investigated, the room was empty. I started asking my coworkers about the room's history. Most shrugged it off, but Marge, the ancient housekeeper, grew pale when I mentioned it. "That room's got a dark past," she whispered. "Back in the 60s, a family was murdered there. Parents and 2 kids brutally stabbed. They never caught the killer." I laughed it off, but that night, the noises from 733 seemed louder, more insistent. As the weeks went by, I began to dread my rounds. The entire 3rd floor felt wrong, like the air itself was thick with malice. I'd see shapes moving in the corners of my vision, always vanishing when I turned to look. One night, I heard a child's laughter echoing from 733. It was a sound of pure joy that somehow chilled me to the bone. I stormed to the room, determined to solve the mystery once and for all. The door was ajar when I arrived. Heart pounding, I pushed it open. The room was different. The modern furnishings were gone, replaced by decor straight out of the 1960s. A family sat around a small TV. Mother, father, 2 children. They turned to look at me, smiling warmly. Then I saw the knife wounds, the gaping slashes across their throats, the stab marks riddling their bodies. Their eyes were milky white, devoid of pupils. "Won't you join us?" the mother asked, her voice gurgling through her ruined throat. "We've been so lonely." I ran until I reached my car, drove home, and never went back. I quit my job the next day. When I called to explain, they told me something that made my blood run cold. There is no room 733 at the Pinewood Hotel. There never has been. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear that child's laughter. And I wonder, did I really escape? Or am I trapped in room 733, reliving that night over and over, never realizing I'm just another shadow in the dark? So, if you ever stay at the Pinewood Hotel and you hear strange noises in the night, don't investigate. Don't even acknowledge them. Because the shadows are always listening, always waiting for a new family member to join their eternal vigil in a room that doesn't exist.